Most people think the SCHD is one of the safest ETFs that you can own in the marketplace today. Set it, forget it, collect the dividends every single quarter. But what if I told you your SCHD portfolio just changed in a major way and most investors have no idea what exactly changed within this ETF itself? In March 2026, SCHD made one of the biggest rebalances that we have seen in years, and it wasn't just the routine update, it was a total shift in the strategy when it comes to this ETF. And if you understand what changes, you're going to see exactly where the market is headed next. So let's break this down. Now, every year, March, SCHD goes through the index reconstitution. That is where the fund, and it is rule-based, removes weaker companies, adds stronger ones, and also adjusts the sector weights depending on the strict rules that they have in here. It is based entirely on rules. It's not emotions, it's not companies it likes, but this year, the changes were not small. 25 companies were added to the SCHD, 22 companies were removed. That is a major shift inside of a stable ETF, changing almost 50 companies in the entirety. Because here's a part that most people miss: energy exposure dropped roughly 8% overnight. Now, I've covered the SCHD before, and everyone said, how do you know what's going to happen? You don't have a crystal ball. When it's a rule-based ETF, a lot of times it's very easy. And I did an article earlier this month to see what is exactly going to change. They estimated 8% it was going to drop, and it roughly dropped 8%. Think about that. Energy right now is one of the best performing sectors that we've seen over the last couple of years. SCHD just cut it, increasing healthcare and increasing technology, which again is pretty interesting. So this tells us something very interesting when it comes to the SCHD. This isn't random rebalancing. It is a rotation towards stability and long-term quality when, of course, we could see a ton of volatility in the energy market with everything going on overseas. And that's exactly what the SCHD is designed for. It is exactly what it is built for. Now, before we even start looking at these stocks, you need to understand how the SCHD actually picks these companies, because once you understand the rules, it's very easy to predict what is going to happen with these moves before they happen. Now, the SCHD is an ETF that does not chase yield in its entirety. It looks at companies, and the rules are based on strong cash flow, high return on equity, consistent dividend growth, and a very solid balance sheet. It's not about the highest yield. It's about the most reliable companies over time, which is the reason why this is classified as an income or a value ETF. And this is where a lot of investors get it wrong. If you're looking at yields at 6%, 8%, 10, even 12%, the SCHD is not the ETF that is going to be the go-to. You might want to look at something like the QQQI, or possibly looking at covered calls if you're looking at the overall income. But SCHD asks an entirely different question. Can this company still pay and grow dividends for the next 10 years? Think about that for a moment. You are looking 10 years in the future to estimate or forecast if companies are still going to be around, if they're still going to be being able to pay these dividends. So when companies get removed, it's not because the company is bad, it's because it no longer meets the SCHD standards. Now let's take a minute and take a look at what actually moves and where this story really comes together with the ETF. Companies added: United Healthcare, Abbott Laboratories, Procter & Gamble, Qualcomm, and Cernovent. These have in common very strong balance sheets. They are global businesses, constant earnings overall, reliable dividend growth. These are companies that they consider kind of the blue chip or all-weather companies that, regardless of what happens in the economy, they are going to perform exceptionally well regardless of what is happening there. And a lot of those even look at the staples, which we know everyone does require. Now, companies removed: Valero Energy, that is one that was definitely moved. AbbVie, Cisco, CF Industries, Halliburton, and a couple others, more cyclical companies, more ties to commodities, and more dependent and focused on the economic swings with the uncertainty in the market. So if we take a step back and really connect these companies, the SCHD is doing really two things at the same time. Number one, they're selling the companies that have already ran up that we've seen a really big increase on, and they're buying those companies that can sustain the long-term income that we're looking at in this ETF. That is discipline. Most investors don't have it. That's why they invest in something like the SCHD, so they have the stability in the portfolio. But this is the part you really need to pay attention to, because this is where the opportunity is. SCHD just told you they don't trust all of the same winning companies moving forward. Energy dominated recently, and it has been. SCHD reduced the exposure. Why? With energy becoming and still continuing to go and build faster and faster. It's because the model really is based on something else. Slowing momentum, less predictable earnings with these companies, and a lot higher volatility. Instead, it moved into healthcare, which provides stability, tech, which is the quality growth, and consumer staples, which it's always in, is the consistency. It is the move on what smart money does when it comes to something like the SCHD. It rotates before the crowd notices. So if you're chasing exactly what worked last year, you're already behind, and that is something that we'd look at. Now, let's be honest. This is where a majority of YouTube videos stop with the Reconstitution. Overall, even after the rebalancing, SCHD does have some severe limitations that we have to talk about because this ETF is not built by growth or built for growth at all. It improves slightly in evaluation. It adds some tech exposure. It strengthens the quality. But if you want it to keep up with peer growth ETFs, it's not going to. This is the trade-off when it comes to investing into something like the SCHD. It is not going to be the VOO or the QQQM. It is not going to be a growth ETF. So if you're choosing this, you are choosing it for income, stability, lower volatility over that growth factor, which is the explosive upside, faster moving growth, momentum plays, and possibly a very, very big downside. And you need to be clear about that because if you expect SCHD to do everything, if you expect it to perform as a tech ETF is going to, it's not going to happen. And it does not happen. You are going to be disappointed. So what do you do with this information? Knowing that it is going to be another 12 months before we see the next Reconstitution, let's simplify it. If you already own the SCHD like I do, 15% of the portfolio, staying disciplined, the rebalancing in this, it works for a specific reason. You don't have to pick stocks. You don't have to time the market. You don't have to guess the rotation. The SCHD is doing it for you. But if you want to build real wealth and you need to level up the strategy, the SCHD, again, will never do it alone. It's because it's missing that high-tech growth. It's missing the aggressive upside that we see with innovation. And of course, when it comes to exposure, when it comes to semiconductors, when it comes to quantum computing, that is not part of this again. So what do smart investors do? They pair the SCHD with a lot of growth ETFs, which is exactly my portfolio. For example, your SCHD will give you income, it'll give you stability, even if the market does a pullback. Growth ETFs have an upside and a very big expansion. That's the combination, and that's how you really make these portfolios accelerate like we've seen them before. So here's the bottom line, guys. The SCHD just didn't rebalance. It sent a very clear message: less energy, more stability, more quality, more long-term thinking over the next 10 years. And if you understand the shift, you're not going to react to the market like a lot of people do. You're going to go ahead and move with it. So guys, if you found any benefit from this, definitely give it a like and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It is growing very, very fast, and I'm very impressed with our production and how we're actually handling all this. If you have and own the SCHD, what percentage do you hold? Like I said, in my portfolio, I do hold 15% of this, which means roughly 85% of my portfolio is in growth, which I know is very, very heavy, but looking at another 20 or 30 years invested in the marketplace, trying to get that growth and getting to the growth to the point where I want to convert some of it over to something like the SCHD, where income becomes a lot more prevalent during retirement or during early retirement to absolutely supplement my income that I have. So guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.